Calum, nice to get your first 3 points on the board.
Yeah, first and foremost, pleased with the results, ecstatic with the performance. Separated the two last week, wasn't happy with either, but it's been a really, really tough week. So angry, still angry at some of the things I've heard, seen, whatever this week.
You're talking social media and such like.
You don't know what that is, so come on, don't ask me about that.
Right, you're right.
This is a group of players that are really, really talented. I'm delighted with the business we've done. We're up against it with injuries. It's tough. We're the same group of staff, group of players that were here last year, and I'm really proud of the people we brought to the football club that will give everything for this team, this club, this group of supporters, everything to do with Chester Football Club. We are maximum commitment. We fell short last week in the first game of the season with 45 more to go and the world ended. I get it, be disappointed. I'm really pleased for the supporters that were here today that went to Bishop Stortford, because we'll have ruined your weekend last weekend. But ultimately, I get it, there'll be bumps in the road, and just because we had a really good season last season does not mean we turn up, we can coast around, and no matter how well we do, things are going to go our way. And it feels like there's been a bit of a hangover of losing a playoff semi-final. So if need be, I will stand on the town hall tomorrow at 12 o'clock. I'm going to my breakfast, one of the lovely places on Northgate Street. I'll stand on the town hall, people will throw tomatoes at me for how bad we were in the playoff semi-final. That's the reality. And all the stuff that's come out after that, and all the stuff that's lingered on over the summer, the season has started. That's the reality, and we want to move forwards. And we can only do that absolutely together. There'll be weeks where we've got to go with a smaller squad. That's that. We can't just bring short-term loans in. It's a tough sell to clubs. Look, we're going to be short for 3 games. Can we borrow your players and then send them you back? We agreed to send a player out on loan 8 weeks ago. It's been stuck with the FIFA TMS system. You've got to make decisions, and you've got to live and die by them. That will happen again, where we are the thinnest, the barest of bones, and we'll produce that type of performance again, because it is maximum commitment. Every single one of them players, every single one of the staff buys into what we're trying to do at this football club, and we will give everything, and I mean everything, week after week after week, win, lose or draw, to have some success. We can't guarantee it. Just because we finished third last season, do we start in third place? Do you remember how hard we fought, and we all fought together to give us that season? Well, we're going to do it again, but there's going to be bumps on the road, and we've got to be able to deal with it, all of us.
I don't think anybody can argue with this next comment. That was a comprehensive win today.
Yeah, I was really, really pleased. Really pleased without the ball. We looked at threat from set plays, looked at threat on the counter attack, and we were good with the ball. We were good in the build up. That's the reality. A lot of work went into it, and I touch upon again having a smaller group of players. That's where we're at. But they're good, you know. They're good. Zach Goodson, first goal of the season for us, brilliant, up and running. Cole Hall, is that another one of our forwards that scored today again? Well, Charlie Caton sat in the stand and Jake Burton sat in the stand, and then Ewan Murray, I thought was terrific, caps it off with 3 goals. We looked good, and that's what we can be. So that smaller squad, and the point I'm trying to articulate in a slightly long-winded fashion, is that, yeah, we'll be thin on the ground, we might have to use some of our young lads on the bench, we're never going to carry big numbers, but we will, pound for pound, be able to put together a really, really good team week after week. We're not carrying any passengers, but we're not going to be perfect. That's the reality. We can talk, I know where I want us to be. We've got no divine right to be in the top 3. And people think I'm pleading poverty. No, that's where we're at. And I'll never stand here and make excuses and talk about budgets and this, that and the other. We'll just fight, because that's what we do. We fight and we fight and we fight again. Win, lose or draw. That's our mentality, that's our identity, and that ain't changing anytime soon.
I know you can pick out a few players from today's performance, but young Ewan Murray, I mean, he was outstanding.
Not young Ewan Murray, he's 23 years old. And people.
It's young to me.
Well, so many jokes, but anyway, terrific lot in my managerial stint here and at a previous club. He's definitely got me out some tight spots on the back of some bad results. He's always delivered. An underappreciated footballer. I've seen him take a lot of stick because he's too small, he's not good enough, he's this, he gets the first man with his set pieces. No, his contributions, I think when he started games, has he lost 2 now in however many starts? He contributes enormously, and he's not the profile of player that people think he is. People think he's going to look like he gets on our turn, plays in the 10, scores goals. No, he's a hard-working, industrious, but people will write him off because of his size. So I'm really pleased for him, because it's been tough for him at times to rejoin the club. Do you remember how many people told him he was rubbish when we signed him before he'd even had a training session? And he capped off. Yeah, the goal's great, but his performance, he contributed. And that's where, I don't mean to pull you up on the young comment, but we're a year older now. Kieran Coates is a year older, and Harrison Burke's a year older, and Matty Williams is now a senior player for us. You look at Zach Goodson's contribute, we're always going to have a younger profile of player, Rhys Daly made his debut, don't forget about that. He's another one out of the academy. Mikey Alcock production line, ba-bang. That's the reality. And I'm so pleased that those players, we'll trust them all day long. But Yuan has been important for us all last season, playing in a way that people don't appreciate. And then I thought his contribution today to be capped off with a goal. So hopefully he might get a little bit of the respect he deserves, but we'll be pushing him for more, that's for sure.
It wasn't just the way he executed the goal. I mean, it was the build-up to the goal. He took on the Weeks pass. He absolutely skinned the defender and then just turned it round, looked up in the corner. I mean, that was exquisite.
Yeah, he's quite good. I remember he was good when he was like 16, 17, and he's still good. But I've thought he gets a lot of criticism from me and pushing him on to be better and better. So that's probably all the nice things I'm going to say about him and try and work on the bits he wanted to be better. But yeah, his contribution when Mr. Weeks, like you say, Mr. Glendon came off the bench, really talented midfield. He stepped up to the plate the way that Cole Hall did. I thought Cole Hall was absolutely magnificent. Really pleased for Rhys Daly on his debut, pleased for a backline that kept a clean sheet. So you pick individuals out quite rightly, but that was a collective team response just to hammer home what our identity is, because we've been hurt. We haven't lost many games over a period of time, and we certainly haven't lost many back to back. But I think it's been really unfair that 180 minutes ago on the pitch we were beaten in a playoff semi-final. That's the reality. And because we haven't signed a number 9 that scores 40 goals, 16 holding midfielders that are all 8 foot tall, we haven't signed 4 goalkeepers, and okay, brilliant. That's our identity, that's who we're going to be, and it's easy to get behind in it. So delighted, yeah, you've named one individual, I've named a couple more. Collective, miles more important.
You set the bar now, haven't you?
Oh, we set the bar last week. That's the reality. Everything, the only way is up. I think that's the thing of, we will not win every game, and that's the reality.
Football's not like that.
Thanks for telling me. Oh, I wasn't aware. That is the reality, but our performances have a profile and identity. Every time I've ever put a team out on the pitch, and that is driven by the players, we just fell short last week. And then players get injured and the world ends. No. We will fight. That is our identity. That's us. That is the entire group. And you saw what it meant to them at full time. They're really genuine. They engage with our supporters brilliantly. I've seen that it's a little boy's birthday who comes to watch us home and away. They spoke to me before the game, and I've seen our captain and vice captain go over to wish him a happy birthday at full time. It's the small things sometimes. They're really genuine. So when we were rubbish at Bishop Stortford, we were just rubbish at Bishop Stortford. That's it. It isn't going to be a really tough campaign, any more so than it already is over the 46 games. And I think we've got to be really real. I want massive expectation. I've loved that. I've never had that. I've been told how rubbish I am in everything I've ever applied myself into since I was 14 years old. Brilliant. Okay, but the reality is that expectation we've created. This isn't a group of players who've walked into a situation. We built a team. The players, when I say we, that I don't mean me and the staff. We, as a group, as the first team group, built a team that finished 3rd in a really tough division last year on the back of nothing. We want to improve, but there's no divine right just to finish there. We're always going to have our challenges. Brilliant, embrace them, get behind them, rally round. And I keep saying it, we will fight until there's nothing left to fight for.
You touched on last season. I'll go on to this season. Referees are under an edict, for want of a better word, this season, to clamp down on nudging the ball away at free kicks, time wasting, even, dare I say it, managers and their verbals from the line. What are your thoughts generally on that? Not specifically,
is a
generally.
Very generic answer. I do not have an opinion. All the National League managers will assign the same thing I have. We've just got to be really respectful. The referees have a tough job. My comments would be this: participant behaviour is the phrase that's been used. I'm a participant, the players are participants, the unused subs are participants, the referees are participants. My only worry for players is that they can be demonised for being emotional. I'm really emotional, look at me now, I'm standing up here, I'm talking to you, and I'll never ever come and tell you a lie. Alright, save that for the Friday Night Football show. The reality is, it's tough and it's an emotional game. Where I feel for the referees is the application of it consistently is going to be tricky. You've seen a couple of cases today, and that is not to criticise their match officials. No, it's really not, and it's tough to apply it consistently. My other concerns are everyone's got to adapt, but there's no kind of bedding in period. So you think we had 5 booked last week in the game at Bishop Stortford, and they had a couple booked at I I think that was part of the problem. No one wanted to go near anyone, did they? There's a couple of bookings today. They will stack up over the season. So I've seen a couple of clubs that they've gone down to 10, haven't they, in ridiculous circumstances. But I only mean ridiculous, not necessarily aimed at the officials. Like, if you're going to get booked, celebrating goals and stuff like
Knocking
that.
the ball away.
We had one today. Yeah, those sort of stuff. So it's tough. My biggest frustration, and where I constantly seek education, everything is always out. I want to be better at my job first and foremost. I think some stuff just needs a little bit of clarity. What I'll say, the referee that we had for the Man United game on Monday was absolute top draw in engaging with me before the game, just to bring me up to speed. But the players aren't the enemy, they are the game. The referees are a vital part of the game. Spectators, do you remember when we couldn't have crowds and it was so difficult? The football's nothing without fans. But you know, when it's not 11v11, they aren't the enemy, and engage and liaise, because some good characters. I spoke again, their captain today was really, really warm to speak to, and he's speaking before the game, and I'm going, we have to just spell it out somehow it's going to be. But I get it, I do get where they're coming from, but I think the reality is there's going to be some clarity needed on certain issues so that we don't end up learning the hard way. Is that a good enough generic?
That's good.
Not having an opinion.
They're not booking the media yet, which is a good thing.
Trust me, give me 3 days.
Calum, thanks for talking to us.
Brilliant.